Hey, how's it going? Thanks for being here. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing, I believe, video 2 of fragrances that remind me of random things. Now, this is not to be confused with my videos where I talk about fragrances that remind me of other fragrances, or at least Bath & Body Works scents that remind me of designer and niche fragrances, right? But this is more of fragrances that I've encountered that remind me of something really random. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Whitney, and here on my channel we mostly explore fragrances, but I sometimes like to throw in other content here and there just for fun. And if you're a returning subscriber, hi. So if you're curious to see what 6 fragrances smell like random things to me, then let's get into it. So all of the fragrances I have to share with you guys today are not in my collection, but they were fragrances that I encountered while I was browsing fragrance stores. So I usually take notes on my phone or handwrite them and transcribe them into my notes app later on, just to kind of keep track of my thoughts at the time of first trying out scents. So the first fragrance I want to talk about today is Elixir de Merveilles, and this is from the house of Hermès. And I actually ended up trying the scent out, right? But I wasn't, it was the wrong one. I had wanted to try the Lambre, the amber one, and the bottles all looked the same, and I didn't read it. So I ended up smelling the Elixir de Merveilles flanker. I wasn't the biggest fan. I thought that it was a bit mature for my personal taste, but the curious thing that happened when it dried down was what it smelled like. And when I smelled the dry down on my paper test strip, it reminded me of lemon lime Gatorade for some reason. Like at the back of my throat, when I smelled the tester strip, it smelled like lemon lime Gatorade, and it was very weird. And I looked up the notes and nothing was really like, it didn't make sense to me why it was smelling like that, but that's the vibe I got from it. So that was pretty interesting that it happened, but it still didn't change the fact that it just wasn't my kind of scent. But yeah, it was kind of weird. So the next scent I want to talk about is Sunflowers, and this is a fragrance from Elizabeth Arden. And this scent has been around for almost 30 years now. It was released in 1993. And I was in the pharmacy and they had a few perfume samples, perfume tester bottles out. And I was like, okay, let me try some scents that I've never smelled before and have zero interest in. Sunflowers being one of them. So the thing that Sunflowers reminded me of is a barbershop. So I have some memories of how like barbershops smell, not only from my childhood when I would go with my brother and my dad, but like even as an adult when I was getting my hair cut at the barbershop. So there's a certain like smell that barbershops have, and that was what I was getting from Sunflowers, which was very unexpected. So for me, it was a pleasant smell. It had like a clean vibe to it, but it was just more masculine than I was expecting it to be. So when I first encountered Sunflowers, I immediately picked up that it was an aquatic floral scent. And whenever I smell that particular scent profile, I'm always reminded of Acqua di Gioia from Giorgio Armani, because that's like the aquatic floral, I feel like. At least it's probably one of the more known ones. So that was like the first thing that came to mind when I smelled it. But yeah, it was kind of weird. So the next scent is Pink Grapefruit, and this is from The Body Shop. So when I recently visited Canada, I had gone into the Body Shop and tried out a bunch of different fragrances, one of which was Pink Grapefruit. And about a year ago, I had tried out a few of the different scents from the Body Shop on my skin, and they smelled gorgeous, but the recent formulation changes have affected how they smell to me, and not in a good way. So with the Pink Grapefruit scent being on me, I was like debating whether or not I really wanted it, because it smelled like cannabis on my skin. Now on Fragrantica, Pink Grapefruit is listed as a citrus and fresh spicy, right? So I'm like, okay, maybe it's supposed to smell herbal, but it literally, all I could smell was weed. And I was like, this is not pleasant, especially because it's like this. If I wanted to smell like that, I would smell like that, or I would intentionally buy fragrances or use fragrances that have that particular note in it. So I asked my sister what she thought of the scent, and she seemed indifferent. And when I told her that I thought it smelled like weed, she was like, I don't think so. So I was just like, I'm at a phase now where if I have to question something too much, I'd rather just not bother. So this was a case of I don't want to bother. So I ended up passing on that one. I was a little bit sad because, like I said, with the formula change, it smelled way worse than it did last year. And I'm a bit disappointed that I didn't just buy the fragrances when I first encountered them and they smelled good. But anyway, that's another story. Yeah, pink grapefruit. Hey, pretty girl. The next scent I want to talk about is Olympea Blossom, and this is a flanker of Olympea from the house of Paco Rabanne. So again, this was an experience of me trying out different scents while at the store, and at the time I had my mask on, so I was testing things through my mask, which I don't really have a super duper problem with because the scents are strong enough to like permeate the mask, right? But I have here specifically written down, through my mask, smells like laundry scented Kool-Aid. It wasn't like my mask was like scented with laundry detergent or anything. So it was the perfume that was giving off that vibe to me, which actually I wasn't exactly mad at. I kind of liked it because it smelled so different, but it really changed severely upon the dry down, because when it dried down, I made a note that it smelled like grassy dirt. I'm here for an earthy scent on occasion, right? But it was a big leap from something like sweet and clean to like dirt. And I'm not a huge fan of how grass smells anyway. So that was a turn off for me. A little disappointing, but I feel like that would at least be a scent that I explore more just because of the transition it went through. Yeah. So the next scent I want to talk about is a Gucci Bloom flanker, and it's called Profumum de Fiori. And this is the one that comes in that yellow bottle. And I think I've tried the Gucci Bloom fragrance before and I liked it, but I decided to give this flanker a try. And in the opening, it was like intensely floral to my nose, but as it dried down, it got way more pretty and tolerable, and just the floral notes were just a lot softer. But when I started to really like, you know, sit with the scent, it started to remind me of spray starch, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? But it just smelled like undeniably like spray starch to me. And even though I'm a fan of scents that smell like laundry, I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this smelling so much like spray starch, because I don't mind how like certain spray starches smell, right? At least the ones I've used in my experience. But like, I don't know. I guess I was just more like, I suppose you could say I was just expecting a little bit more from the scent. I mean, it was curious that that's what it reminded me of, but yeah, I guess it was just not interesting enough for me to want to pursue further. So the final scent that I want to talk about that reminded me of something random is Rogue Love, and this is a flanker of Rihanna's Rogue. So I normally don't really check too much for the celebrity section of the perfume store. I guess the only reasons I usually check them out if there's a scent that I already have interest in is there and I want to explore that, or if I've heard someone mention a scent and I wanted to like see how it smelled. But for the most part, I typically don't like browse the celebrity section as much as I do like the designer section. But anyway, I wanted to see what Rogue Love smelled like. I can't remember if I had already smelled what Rogue smelled like, but anyway, I wanted to smell Rogue Love just to see what it was like. And what it reminded me of was like a refreshing iced tea kind of smell. And I don't remember the notes, so let me go get them now. Okay, so there are some fruity notes in here. So I mean, it just smelled like a drink to me. But the thing that I noticed too was that I got anosmic to the scent very quickly. I wasn't able to pick it up shortly after spraying it out, which was partially disappointing, but then also partially expected. Like, to be honest, I don't always have the highest hopes in terms of performance when it comes to celebrity fragrances. But the funny thing was that after I had like given my nose a break and revisited the scent. On the test strip I had, I was able to pick up the scent with ease. So that's just the nature of fragrances, I suppose. But yeah, it smells so much like a refreshing drink. I was just like, this is so funny. Like, I wasn't expecting it to smell so drinky, but it did. So yay, I'm glad that I got to share some of those interesting scents with you. So let me know down below in the comment section if any of these scent experiences are similar to ones you've had with these scents, or if not, if you have any experiences with scents that smell like something random. I'm curious. So if you liked today's video, please give this video a like, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I do encourage you to subscribe. And if you would like to support my channel even more, feel free to buy me a bubble tea. All that information is down below in the description box. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you later. Bye! So the first fragrance I have to talk about today is Elixir de Merveilles from Merveilles. It smelled like lemon lime, but is it a floral aquatic? Because I have my notes all over the place, baby. Yes, it is.